Hi, good evening, friends. Welcome to the Pro Trading Club. And today is 19th of February, and let's get started with today's session. So, Pro Trading Club, as you all know, we have a lot of things which we will be discussing. Currently, at this point of time, I'm not going to give you any stock tips because I'm seeing market crashing very heavily in the coming days. So let me actually directly go ahead and start with the view about the market, because that is what we are actually going to do, and there is a lot of things you need to learn here and pay a lot of attention. According to what I see, market is very likely to get into a bear market soon. So experience a mini bear market in the coming days. So according to me, uh, the last week of Feb onwards till March, I think there is a good amount of sell-off which is going to happen in the market. And after that also, even if the market comes up a little bit, I see a lot of time correction which is going to happen. I don't see a huge crash in the market, but there is a time-wise correction which is going to happen. Price-wise correction also is going to happen. Time correction is also going to happen. I'll tell you what are the different reasons for this. Let's try to understand one by one. The number one factor, let me actually go ahead and explain you all the different factors which are going to weigh very heavily on the stock market in the coming days. So let me actually share you this. One second. Okay, I hope you can see this. Okay, let me actually do one thing. Let me increase the font size and let me actually write down what are the different things which are going to affect the market in the coming days. The most important thing which is going to affect the market is going to be the Fed Reserve's rate hike, which is expected. Let me actually give you the deadline for that also. Okay, one second. Okay, some issue here. Just a minute. Okay, first and foremost thing, Fed rate hike. The first hike and the commentary is very important, and the market is going to watch how actually the Fed is going to hike this rate, and what is the tone which they are actually taking, and then what is the course of action, how many hikes are going to happen, and what are their views on the market. They will be sharing with you how actually they are expecting the market. Overall, if you see most of the places, we everybody is expecting a good growth which is going to happen in the market, on all the stocks and all. So the growth is something which everybody is talking about, and even Fed is actually talking about growth. So as long as the growth is happening, I think everything is great. I see some issue here. I'm not able to see whatever I have written here. I don't know what is the reason for this. Font color also have increased. Okay, I'll actually use something else if this is not working. I don't know, some issue. Just a minute. Okay, let me write here. So the number one reason which I'm seeing in the market is going to be the Fed rate hike. So number one is Fed rate hike. Okay, and the event is on 15th of March. Okay, this is very important event. Okay, now there's a big drama about Russia, Ukraine, and US is actually intervening here. So they have given some deadline. I think the date I don't remember exactly. I think it is somewhere around 24th or 26th of March. So what actually US has said is some NATO meeting is something is happening, and they're asking Russia to have a dialogue and ensure that there is no attack at least till this time, and have a discussion kind of thing. That's what is happening. So there's a lot of challenges. I don't think this is going to actually settle down anytime soon. What actually US is talking is also about the war which can happen, and it can happen in some days time, weeks time. So there's no clarity everywhere. Actually, one time it actually tells something, something else is happening. To create a lot of challenges. Next biggest challenge uh, is going to be the NSE scam. So there's a lot of actually discrepancy in whatever is happening. This is going to be a big thing. Okay. After this, there's another big thing which is APVG shipyard scam. This is another thing which is laying very high on a lot of stocks, lot of banking stocks. So banking is something which is, though they are already a NPA and all these things are done, but still they are going to create a lot of challenges. So these are news which are going to have, and elections which are already there. Okay, there's already elections. So there's so many news and news related things which are happening. So market is going to have a lot of challenges. Okay, all these, if you see, there's nothing which is clearly positive. Every other thing is more on the negative side. Okay, so all this inflation is one of the major thing. Fed is clearly talking about inflation, and everything is actually being laid on that. So inflation is something, inflation, so CPI and PMI data and all these datas are going to be a very critical, and that is what actually the whole world will be watching all these things. So there's a lot of panic. If I have to tell you, there's a huge amount of panic which is actually expected in the market. So many things are happening, and there's no timeline for the other things. Here there is some timelines which we can see. For other things there is no timeline. Elections are happening, results will start coming in from the March. So these are some of the things which are there, and there is some more things which can actually creep in. So there is a lot of things. There could also be something which can come with this Delta Cron. They're talking about something which is a combination of Omicron plus Delta variant. So all these things can lay very heavily on the market. So on top of all this, if you see technically, there is a lot of FI selling. It is not stopping. It is not stopping. So since there is this FI selling, all these things are happening. So market is having a lot of challenge. So going up is not going to happen very soon. Don't expect any uh, uh, big rally in the market. At least for, according to me, it may not happen very soon. It may, for us, the new high in the market can happen only in the third quarter or the fourth quarter. So don't expect anything very big to happen very soon, which is unlikely. On top of all this, see, after this Fed rate hike is going to happen, liquidity crunch is anyway going to happen. On top of all this, we also have this LIC IPO which is going to come in, and this is, I think, March 11th or something. After this March 11th onwards, I think it is there. So if you look at this, it is going to suck in a lot of liquidity from the market. So first of all, this is going to create a problem with the liquidity. This is also going to create a problem with liquidity. So I don't expect market to move up very soon. So that is my very important. Even there could be technical bounces which can come in. I'll tell you some of the important levels and all. You need to pay a lot of attention. So if you see all these things, definitely none of them are good for the market. All these are bad for the market. But at the same time, if I have to tell you a couple of other things which I'll share with you, which will also have a positive impact, it may happen a little later, but there is a lot of positive impact which are there. So let me tell you what are the positive things which are there. These are all the negative things which are there in the market, which is going to create immediately some amount of sell off which is going to happen. Some of the things which are good on the long term for the Indian markets, let me tell you couple of things which are very powerful and important. One is we have already got India, and we have this UAE has started this there's some um, they have some treaty and settlement. I think some trade related. They have come to an agreement which is going to increase our exports. So this is something which is interesting. I think probably a lot more new things are going to start happening in terms of a lot more things are going to happen, especially in terms of uh, uh, trade treaties and other things. A lot of things of this kind is going to definitely impact on the positive front. So this is something which is going to happen. And secondly, which are actually going to happen currently, what we are seeing, the budget has been fantastic. So the budget, whatever has happened, the whole focus is on growth. We were expecting this time with so many election in place, it will be having some favoritism, which has not happened. Okay, this is not happening. Okay, okay, I have missed one more important factor here. Okay, along with all this, there is another important factor which is also not good, which is about this crude oil. Crude oil, probably if it can continue with the upward movement, it can actually be very negative. So crude oil actually probably can breach this $100 mark. This is another negative thing. And the other thing is bond yield increasing. This is another negative. So all these are actually negative factors in the market for the short term period. For the short term period, these are negative factors. And for long term, these are some very important positive factors which we can see. And RBI is actually policies are accommodative. So which is more of dovish kind of a thing. So you Indian market, Indian central bank and US central bank are working completely on the opposite direction. So these are very important positive factors in the long run. Okay, and if you look at the results of companies are expected to grow. So see, forget about anything which happens in the market. These are all temporary. What is most important is this. What is most important, where actually value investors are actually looking out, is that profit should come in the company, and we can see a lot of profits which can probably arise in the market. So all these are very, very positive on the long run. On the long run, it is positive. Short term, there are so many things which are negative, so many things which are negative. So short term, don't expect any kind of a big up move. Whatever up move is going to come, it is going to have a lot of challenges. It is not going to be easy for the market to move up. Look at the amount of negative factors which are there, which is not really good for the market. So another major thing which is very good for the market, let me tell you this. Another major thing which is actually happening, I think you will start seeing results very soon for this, which is our foreign inflow improving. That means huge amount of foreign funds are coming into India. Though FIs may be withdrawing funds, I think this is only going to be a temporary phase. After that, long-term funds are going to come, and a lot of companies are actually using the PLI schemes and all, uh, which has been laid out by the government. So you will start seeing a very likelihood that huge amount of job opportunities are going to come into India. So that is going to be fantastic for the market and for the overall, for every one of us. We will all have a huge amount of job opportunity which are going to come in. So if you look at this, these are all very, very positive. This is mainly for the longer run. This is mainly for the long run. These are all extremely good for the market. For short term, these are all very, very negative for the market. So we can see a price wise correction. We can also see time wise correction. So these are some negative factors which are there, and these are some positive factors which are there. Okay, so let me actually show you on the charts why I'm so negative currently, why I'm so much negative on the market. Let's actually look at a couple of very important facts, and I'll also give you some very important levels which you need to watch out. And these levels are extremely important for us to watch out. And after that, we can see how markets are going to react after this. In 1 second, let's look at, this is what I had. I think last week we did not have this pro trader meeting, and I actually talked, we are more going to be on the sideways mode. I think the sideways mode can continue till, okay, as of now it is still the same, there's no change in that. This is the last week, so I'm expecting 17,000 to probably 17,400. That's the max which I'm expecting at this case. Okay. And if we break this by any chance, then we can probably move towards 17,600, which is not looking likely. But anyway, let me actually write this down. And if we break this, we will go towards this 16,800 level. If we break this, see, as long as we hold 16,800, everything is good. If we break this, we are going to enter a mini bear market. Okay, we are going to enter a mini bear market. Probably, I think once again it will test 16,400, 500 levels, and there could be some bounce. But if we break that, there is a big challenge which is going to happen in the market. Okay, let me show you a couple of important factors. See, if I look at this, there is a triangle which has formed, and there is also a head and shoulder which is actually getting formed. It's not completely done. We need to breach this level, then only the head and shoulder confirmation is going to come. So these are a couple of very important factors which are there in the market. Along with that, there are a couple of more things which you need to see. So for this, I'll give you the target levels also in the coming days. But at the same time, let me show you some very important factors. See, look at what is happening here. Small cap index has literally crashed. And I think this gap is not filled. As I can see, 72. Yes, this is not filled, guys. This gap is not filled, and we are actually trying to, we have broken this level and started trading below, which is not good for the market. So short term, small caps first, actually whenever there is a good correction which is going to come, the small caps are going to break down, and you can see RSI has started going below 40, which is bearish, which means broader market are becoming weak. You can see a good amount of sell off which is going to happen. Small caps, if you see, have moved drastically from 3,000 in the COVID crash to somewhere around recent high is what, close to around 12,000, 11,000. 1 second, yeah, 12,000. So that means 4 times it has grown. So there is a big amount of sell off which is going to happen in case of this small caps. Small caps have moved up huge, and there will be a sizable correction which is going to happen here. Now let's look at even the mid caps. If you look at the mid cap, even mid cap is actually entering, it's also below 40. And if you see here, it's about to break this. See, this was the low which had formed, and now we retested this. And now if we are breaking this, that bigger sell off is going to happen. And look at mid cap also. If you look at mid cap also, it has moved a huge, from 11,000 it has moved almost around 32,000, almost 3 times plus it has actually moved. So we can expect a good sizable correction which can happen in the mid cap stocks. So both the small caps and mid caps have become weak, and along with that, the major indices, the biggest indices which we wanted is this IT index. IT index is also looking weak, and very likely this is also starting to, this may try breaking this or may get into a sideways mode. So we have to see if we can consolidate here or actually correct further. Okay, any buying can be done at these levels if this gets folded, but looking very weak at this point of time, it's looking very weak. Okay, So IT index is not doing good. Very, very important. IT index is not doing good. Banking is anyway not doing good. Banking, as you know, banking is definitely not doing good. Bank Nifty is definitely not doing good. Now for Bank Nifty, this is very important level. If this breaches, then actually we can really expect this back. And if probably this can also get breached, or probably it will try to consolidate here. So we need to see what is going to happen here in the Bank Nifty. So Bank Nifty, let me tell you, Bank Nifty, same thing is going to apply here. I had given you a broader range of 37,000 500 to 39,000. Currently, my expectation is 36,000. So probably now 37,500 is going to start becoming a resistance. If we breach this, probably 38,000. I am not expecting much bigger. 38,000, 38,500 itself is going to be very strong resistance currently. And if we breach this 36,500, I think we can easily test 36,000, or probably below that also we can go. Okay, below that is going to be quite negative. It can probably retest this 34,000 levels also. Here probably it can consolidate, or actually it can get further down. We have to see that in the coming days. So overall, currently market is looking extremely weak. None of the sectors are looking strong at this point of time. Very, very weak. Most of the sectors are looking very weak. Major indices which are actually having a lot of weightage, they're not looking good. So what can you expect? What can you expect from something else which can actually give you support? If they cannot give you support, market is very good, having so much of challenges currently. It is going to be very challenging. And when there is so much of negative inflows of news, that is also not good. And on top of that, you can see that volatility has increased and VIX has gone up, which is the fear factor. And fear factor, if this is going to breach this and hold above this 24 level, expect a huge amount of sell-off in the market coming in. So pay all the attention on 24. It needs to sustain about 24. If it starts coming below 24, then probably again we may see some rally coming in. But if we sustain this and go beyond that, I see a good amount of panic which is going to continue. And if I have to tell you guys, this is exact same time last year, 2 years back, when the COVID crash happened. Let me actually show you the date, time. Everything is almost the same time. So there is a time factor which is also on the negative side for us. If you look at this whole crash, what we saw happened just in 1 month, and the entire thing started off in the last week. Look at this, 25th of February onwards. This is the big crash. The range started breaking out, and from there the sell-off intensified, and the 24th of March is where we have made the bottom. So if I have to look at that, this is almost occurring at the similar timeline. So which also suggests something very, very negative on the market. So overall, at this point of time, I'm expecting market to be very, very, very negative. So pay a lot of attention on this. I, okay. Thank you. I think I have actually conveyed all the things which I wanted you to understand. Thank you very much. Have a great and prosperous day.